We want to talk about the proper amount of quality and quantity of sleep. And again, it's one of the components that most people tend to say, I can do without sleep, I can get by. Well, the problem is if you get as little as 5 hours of sleep for 5 days in a row, you're classified technically as pre-diabetic. And if you look at Alzheimer's known now as diabetes of the brain. So we don't want to do things that are going to interfere with our blood sugar and create a problem with our biochemistry that way. So we want you to try to get the proper quality of sleep and quantity of sleep. And there's numerous ways that you can do that. If you look back about 100 years ago, 120 years ago, before Edison invented the light bulb, the average person was sleeping about 9.25 hours a day. Compare that today where we have all the lights and all the technologies and all the gadgets and the gizmos to keep us informed and in touch with everybody. We are now sleeping about 6 hours and 15 minutes to 6 hours and 30 minutes a day. So if you look at a couple of studies out of the National Sleep Institute, the average person needs a minimum of about 8 hours and 15 minutes a day to as much as 9 to 11 hours a day, depending on your body biochemistry and your body's needs for rest and sleep. So if we should be getting roughly 8 to 9, and we were getting 9 hours and 15 to 9.5, 115, 120 years ago, and we're down to 6 hours and 15 to 6 hours and 30 minutes now, we are easily going into about 2 hours of sleep deprivation each and every day. So I'm going to ask you a question. If you have a baby, what is the one thing you make sure that baby gets enough of? They get enough sleep. And why do you want them to get enough sleep? Because we as parents and grandparents know that if a baby is not getting their sleep, they are going to be cranky. So the question that I ask everybody is, why is it okay to not have a cranky baby, but it's okay for adults to be cranky? So we want you to try to start to focus in on what you have to do to get a good quality and quantity of sleep. So right now, be thinking of at least 8 hours. You know the age-old saying, 8 hours to work, 8 hours to play, 8 hours to sleep. Well, we want to focus on at least trying to maintain that balance. Probably a little bit more, but let's shoot for the 8. Okay? And it's not about sleeping faster, it's about sleeping right. Because especially as we're adults, when kids are growing and they're sleeping, their body produces growth hormone to build strength and size and build their body bigger, stronger, better. For us as adults, when we get to be over the age of 25, our growth hormone levels start to drop dramatically. But they are still being produced, and they're being produced when we get quality and quantity of sleep. And the most important thing for us as adults, that when we produce that growth hormone, it allows us for proper tissue healing and repair. So your body heals best when it's getting its level of rest. Your best stretch of rest is when you are sleeping. So try to remember to optimize that as best you can. If lifestyle situations are that it's just impossible to get the sleep in terms of time that you need, focus then on quality. And there's a number of ways that you can measure quality with a Fitbit band or an Oura ring. But again, measure the quality of sleep and work to try to improve it over time. Ideally, 8 hours of great quality. And great quality is enough REM sleep, but most importantly, where you produce the growth hormone is paying attention to the deep sleep. And in terms of deep sleep, the average individual when they're young needs about 20 to 30% of their sleep to be deep sleep. Unfortunately, as we get older, it tends to be that we're in deep sleep less. So if you can somehow score somewhere between 10 and 20% deep sleep, you're generally getting a decent quality of sleep as you're getting older. Again, we don't need as much growth hormone as when we were younger, but we do want to produce it for tissue healing and repair.